Welcome to the deep dive. Today, get ready because we're plunging into a really surprising book. It's called The Courage to Be Disliked, A Path to Freedom. Our mission, to unpack some of its, well, most profound nuggets of insight for you. And the core idea is pretty bold. Basically, you can be happy right now, like right now, if you have the courage to change your thinking.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe be disliked by others.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is how these ideas, they're rooted in Adlerian psychology, but they just fundamentally challenge so much conventional wisdom, about happiness, about agency, especially about the role of past trauma. It really flips things on their head.
Okay, let's dive into that. The first big concept is, well, the book says all problems are interpersonal relationship problems. It argues that most suffering, even things like self-doubt, it often comes down to how we see ourselves compared to others, or needing approval. And it says feelings like inferiority or needing approval. They're presented as choices, not things you're just stuck with.
Yeah. Right. And that emphasis on choice is fascinating. The book makes this pretty radical claim, one that really makes you stop and think. It says, people aren't angry because of a past trauma. They choose anger to achieve a goal.
Whoa. Okay.
It's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, I remember reading that and thinking, wait, am I choosing to be mad in traffic? It forces you to look at everyday stuff differently.
That is really challenging, though, because emotions, they feel so automatic. Right. So how does the book suggest you actually do that? Just choose not to be angry when it feels so real.
That's a great question. It's not really about just suppressing it. It's more about understanding the purpose behind the emotion. So like anger, the book argues, is often a tool maybe to control someone or get attention. Once you see that goal, you can potentially choose a different way. And this leads straight into how different this is from, say, Freudian thought, which often puts so much weight on past trauma defining us. This book leans heavily on Alfred Adler's view. We are not determined by our experiences, but by the meaning we give them. That's the core.
Yeah, that hit me hard, too, the example they give. Someone isn't shy because they were bullied. They actually choose shyness, maybe to avoid judgment or interaction later on. It's like, wow, you are not a slave to your past. That's powerful stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you connect that, this idea of really deep personal agency, it's crucial for living authentically. Because the book suggests if you're always living for approval, you end up frustrated. You lose your freedom. So having the courage to be disliked becomes, well, necessary if you want to live freely, live honestly.
Right. It's not about being difficult on purpose.
No, not at all. It's just recognizing that if you live true to yourself, your path will diverge from what some people expect or want, and being okay with that.
Yeah.
That's freedom from needing everyone to like you.
Which brings us to another tool, the separation of tasks. Sounds simple, but maybe not easy. It's basically learning what's your job and what's someone else's. Like the example, studying is your task. Whether the teacher praises you, that's their task, their reaction. So, okay, what does that actually mean day to day? How does that help?
Well, this separation is huge for freedom. When you stop trying to manage other people's feelings or reactions or taking responsibility for their tasks, you get so much energy back. It really leads to this idea that maybe freedom is being disliked. Because if you're truly living by your own compass, some people will dislike your choices, or you. And the book frames this not as failure, but actually as a sign you're living freely. The quote is direct. Freedom is the courage to be disliked.
Okay. And then finally, there's this focus on the present, living right now. Not for recognition, not comparing yourself, but for contribution. I like the definition of happiness they offered. Happiness is the feeling of contribution to others. And it all wraps up with this core message again. You can change right now. Because as they say, change doesn't take time, it takes courage. So just to boil it all down, the book's core message is something like, you can be happy and free. If you stop blaming the past, separate your tasks, and find the courage to be disliked.
Yeah. And maybe this leaves you with a question to think about. How might reframing a past event, seeing it maybe as involving choice rather than just determining your fate, how might that change your actions, your sense of freedom, like today?
Definitely something to chew on. We hope this deep dive into the courage to be disliked has sparked some new thoughts for you. Thanks for joining us, and until next time.